we have a big project starting today. I'm gonna get this announcement out. Okay. Am I gonna Ludwig this? Boys! Here's the plan. We're gonna write a musical. We're gonna produce a musical. And we're gonna perform a musical on this broadcast from now until whenever it's done. It's gonna be Pog. It's gonna take so long. It's gonna take as long as we want. It'll be every stream. It'll be so much content. If you want to hang out, you want to do some creative stuff, this is the place to be. We're gonna start this weekend just brainstorming. The goal for today and or the rest of the weekend, just depending on how long it takes us to get there, will be to figure out, sort of the premise, things that we want to base it on, the like general story vibes, and just kind of a general idea of what the plot is gonna be. And then assuming that that gets done this weekend, the next step would be to sort of flesh it out, get like a full plot storyboard deal going, figure out who our characters are, figure out where the songs go, those sort of things. And then once we have that framework going, it's time to songwrite, write book, and then from there we orchestrate. From there we record, we produce, we mix master the tracks that we need, because of how this is gonna work, which we can get into that in a little bit. And then we'll have set design, costume design, maybe even some like videos or live IRL streams going to the store. Pascal, hello!
Hey, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Hey.
I just wanted to say hi. But yeah,
Hi.
we're gonna do all that design stuff. We're gonna get that all built and done on stream, and then funny little music rehearsals, etc. And then boom, performance. So that's sort of the arc that we can anticipate going through. One of the sort of logistical issues that we are gonna run into is that it is in fact only me here. And so performance-wise, we're looking at probably having to do either a one-person musical, figuring out some sort of like hybrid remote way to do the performance in a way that is like super poggers and epic, or also potentially making this stretch out until I get to New York, and then we can also add other people. So these are all things to keep in mind while we're working, but I also don't think that should like dictate any of the ideas that we come up with, because I think one of the coolest things about musical theater is how insanely high the suspension of belief is. Like, we can figure it out whatever we want to do. So it's just something to keep in mind, but not something to sort of like try to limit ourselves to. Let me backtrack just a little bit about how I got this idea. So literally, what I was doing was I've been like obsessed with Hadestown ever since we saw it when I was in New York. Like literally latched onto it, and I, obviously got my grubby little hands on a piano vocal score and all of this, and was like, I thought about like that performance of Cher doing West Side Story, but she's playing all the parts. And I was like, I want to do something like that, but for Hadestown. And then I was like, but then I really could have posted anywhere because I don't have the rights. Like, I'm not Cher. I don't have Cher lawyers. So then I was like, well, I mean, I kind of was like cabaret, and I was like, no, that's stupid. That's like doing Twitch karaoke. Like everyone's done that, and that's what I thought of. Like, oh, but we could like write the whole musical. It'd be like my like stupid musical theater writing class, except it's this. Permission to quack?
Oh, sorry.
That's good. Okay, let's get the ball rolling. I anticipate an awkward silence after this, but does anyone have like an idea that they were already dying to use?
Well, I mean, I just said FaceTime the musical, so I think that's going to be the perfect idea for this, and nothing can go wrong with that.
Like
as the premise and theme.
I think so. I think along with that, we should really get into the lore of J. Peter Dog 2 and
you know what? Honestly,
rising of how they came to be.
Uh-huh.
I think that would be pretty good.
Pretty solid.
Like a coming of age story for J. Peter Dog 2, and how it goes from just the basic like '80s computer to a laptop to like he just keeps getting upgraded, and like that's how we find the story. We find the story.
Okay, there's so much to
Or,
unpack here. J. Peter Dog 2 is a computer who is coming of age.
yeah,
Not
no,
just
no. He
not just
like
a
he gets
computer, but a
upgrades.
computer dog.
He has
Yeah, they
like
started
he
off as
changes with the
one.
time.
Now there's a 2.
To be honest, it probably wouldn't be the stupidest musical I could think of. If I'm gonna be frank with you, but
I don't want to be the stupidest. We want to be close to the stupidest. I think that's
yeah,
the
no.
ideal goal. But good, but fun.
You brought out the idea that you want this to be either we do this in Texas, just like you said, a one-person show, or we actually like all perform it later in like August or whatever. You come up to New York. But yeah, like I think something. It was a little bit of a joke, but I think something having to do with like FaceTime or some sort of communication, or you
Or
could do
just the
maybe a
distance
little
thing.
pandemic kind of thing.
Pandemic musical sounds nice.
Yeah, like that can like show isolation without having to really need for everybody to be there. Obviously, it'd be a very heavy topic, and I imagine probably people aren't going to be super comfortable doing it, but
Yeah, I
just trying to do
personally,
that.
just because like we're still in it.
Yeah,
like,
no, we're gonna be in it.
I don't know about
Yeah.
doing like pandemic specifically, but I do like the idea of like doing something focused on like distance. I do think that is like a really cool like thread we can sort of follow down.
Kind of exploring the weird anxieties that come with distance and the social structures that we're in now due to the pandemic. I don't know. That'd be interesting. But
Maybe-
make it light.
maybe
Really?
gosh, I'm not trying to. It just made me think of the idea of like somebody probably made a musical called Work from Home, but I feel like that could maybe be a way to like I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I
it could be
keep going
just
back to
in
that
general,
idea.
just going around to the idea of
Yeah.
the fact that we're all distanced now, the
Yeah.
fact that we're in isolation. It doesn't have to specifically be about the pandemic, but it can be around the fact that we
Yeah.
live in a society that's more connected, but we're still very, very far apart physically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ray, I just
Connections.
accidentally leaked my D&D notes on stream.
Gosh, man. Sid, true professional as always, but don't worry.
Wow,
Um,
you're taking notes. I like that.
Actually, to be honest, I did just make a Google Doc because I'm like, I feel like that'd be, I don't know,
We
some
could
way
do-
to actually work on it
Wait,
off
D&D?
hours.
Yeah.
The backstory of Zarastrella.
Backstory of Zarastrella.
I mean,
Um,
there definitely has already been a D&D musical. I'll tell you that for damn sure. I don't even have to look that up, but that'd be
Distance and Dragons.
that could be fun.
Distance
Just
and
like-
Dragons would be amazing.
Yeah, just
that's
literally
a good
make
one.
this character that you
good.
have, just make them into a musical. Let's do that. Sid just makes
Distance
a
and
World of Warcraft
Dragons.
musical or something.
A musical D&D experience.
Yeah.
I agree.
Roll for song selection.
Yo.
Roll for to not be the bard of the group.
Yeah. That'd be funny, but
The
Um,
Backstreet Bards.
There is
Backstreet Bards.
something
Sorry.
like interesting. I had an idea, and I don't know that like this is very ambitious.
Okay.
Of like I don't know if this is actually feasible, but like somehow making it like a choose your own adventure musical. Like if we're like writing it with chat, like chat also has influence during the performance.
I like it. I like it. Interactive.
It could be fun.
That would be
It could be
fucking sick.
satirical. It could be the idea that a character is stuck in a situation where they have to take chat's advice, and wacky musical things happen because of it.
Yeah. Like, do you go with the girl of your dreams, or do you stay with your family to?
I was thinking more of like,
or-
should I have toast? And then chat.
Should I
votes.
have toast? No. You either sing a song about should I have toast or should I have pancakes?
And then you go from there. I mean, I can make a song about just about anything. Now it's not going to be very good, but
Nah, yeah. I mean, obviously, like I said, It wouldn't like
Should I have
making a
toast?
song about pancakes is not the silliest thing you could do.
Right, because I
Um,
feel that you could definitely have the branching things that depending on different points, you could have it so you could branch between two or main things that you have already accounted for. For example, using the aforementioned,
Yeah.
oh, if you go with this person, you have something that was written for that situation, but you
Mhm.
also have for another situation. So something may be performed or it may not be performed. And then I feel you could also have for little, if you going through with just this idea, if you had chat interaction, maybe you could do something like those Liz would be able to tell you about that sometimes we had these things where we would have to, someone would give us a word, and we at work at the escape room, we would try to incorporate that word in our spiel or something.
Oh,
So
what?
almost like an ad lib
Yeah,
sort of thing that wouldn't be huge, but something that could just be fit in.
What's the name of that comedy style where it's like
improv or
improv? Yeah, like
yeah,
Mhm.
heavy improv.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's lots
pretty
of
much. Yeah. It would-
Improv, but because you have set amount of choices, the musical always has a prepared performance for said
Mhm.
choice.
Sounds like D&D to me.
Exactly. There you go.
I mean,
Do we
yeah,
roll?
obviously it has
How about the
D&D.
chat rolls for outcomes?
yeah, no,
I feel like predictions would make more sense here. I feel like that would at least give
or like
more
polls
control.
even.
Yeah, polls.
polls,
I
yeah.
meant sorry,
Yeah.
not predictions, but yeah.
Oh, this is
So
actually
like, yeah, you can make those weird
fuck.
choices or whatnot.
this is actually like the more that I think about it, pretty doable. I think like logistically,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think ahead just a little bit of like switching the music, because I feel like this is something that would be easier with a live orchestra, right? Because a live orchestra, you'd be able to, you know,
Yeah, they'd be prepared to play
maneuver them through
whatever.
different segues.
Yeah.
But the transitions would take quite a bit more prep.
Yeah, and more of, I mean, obviously the ambition here is like, obviously creating a through line or like some sort of way. Obviously we can't make contradictions. You can't like, I imagine it'd be funny. Like I think it'd be a funny joke if at one point there's a choice that kind of loops into itself. So like you keep like doing the same like annoying song. So it'd be like, I don't know, you play Baby Shark like into another song into Baby Shark, you know what I mean? Like a joke like that.
Yeah,
But
that'd be good.
The logistics of that, the logistics of really, I guess, running in real time, because I mean that essentially turns a moderator into the stage, not even a stage manager, but like like a director of sorts with that.
I was just gonna ask, is logistically, are you planning to do this like live with real people, or are you trying to do it over
like recorded
Twitch?
or like
Yeah.
So, I think that's I spoke to it a little bit earlier, where I'm like, I'm not entirely sure. Part of it depends on how long this takes, right? Because if it only takes like 3 weeks, which it won't, but let's say it did, I'll still be in Texas and I'll be relatively isolated, and there's no one I can do anything with in real life. And so then we have sort of like this fork in the road of, okay, do we do like a one-person musical or whatever, or do we do like some sort of remote performance option, which could be, just a video chat in Discord, which like has been done, but I feel struggles a little bit. Another thing I thought of was doing like like green screening people in, which I think would be hilarious. But
Yeah, I mean, if it's a
also,
performance,
yeah, it's also
pre-recorded performance.
it's also a little trickier to do because it would be a pre-recorded performance. It would be, harder to work in things like improv, etc.
I like the idea of like one or two performers just doing multiple parts, and it's kind of just goofy and silly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh wait,
like
you know
that.
what I just thought of? Okay, with that two parts thing, if like the songs that loop into each, I almost thought of like maybe it's like one song from one character's perspective, and then that goes into another song from the other person's perspective, but like they
Mm-hmm.
loop into each other, right? Like maybe it's like a love ballad song, and like one love ballad goes into the other side's love ballad, but then that could loop in like I don't know. That it does sound annoying, but I'm just thinking like maybe that could be a fun way to loop songs into each other or like one part until like they break the cycle and just say, "Oh yeah, no, like they want to love each other." But then like the only way to move forward in the story is that they break up. Oh, that is ooh, that is evil. I
Cam,
just
your brain
I
fluids
just
are
I'm like wow, that's evil.
Cam's
Just
brain
like their
fluids.
love cannot like continue the story. It has to be broken in order to continue the story. Wow, I am an evil genius. Sorry.
That's actually
I
really
just
good.
ruined that for the musical, but like
I hate how
that
good that
sounds
is.
I mean, no, that's good.
oh shit. Okay, but
I
yeah, no,
like when
you
stuff
clearly
doesn't
there's
go
like
right.
yeah, no, there's a lot of things like that could actually be a great way of choosing your own adventure. Yeah, like showing the how the choices impact the
Oh, and
narrative.
then we can get really deep into like themes
Yeah,
of fate and like
yeah, fate
oh,
and destiny
Free
and choice.
will?
free
Yeah, that
will.
sounds fun. Yeah.
Have y'all heard of the last 5 years musical?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because that's when Kim was saying that. That kind of reminds me of that. Because if you
Hmm.
don't know that story is really cool because it's just a cast of two, but it's really creative in the way that it tells the story. So
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
tells the overarching story is two people who that you go through them getting into a relationship and exploring that, and eventually they it doesn't work out, but it from the perspectives of both people, it actually works backwards. So you have one song where it's the beginning of the relationship, and then the next song is sort of at the end, but it goes backwards. So at the middle of the musical, the stories are around the same time period, but then they sort of reverse. So it keeps jumping back
Mm,
and forth, but it's done really well in a sense that, as you were kind of saying, it jumps around just between two different people's perspectives. That reminded me of that.
that's cool. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Like, it's yeah, and
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, yeah, we want to, like I said. Well, I mean, I don't want to just take that idea and be like, yeah, we should go back in time, but that makes
Right,
sense.
but
Yeah,
but it
and like
can, yeah,
again,
it
yeah, you
can
see
be
how
executed
time and
well. Yeah, with
choices
this
with
like
that.
While we've been talking, I also think like if we do wind up having to do, because this is another thing that you might have missed, is like sort of the logistical limitations of like me being alone in Texas until I am in New York, and I don't know how this timeline lines up with that timeline. Um, but if it does wind up being like a one person musical, or even if it winds up being more than that, um, it could sort of break itself, or it could be framed within the context of like an actual Twitch stream, but just like act like it makes sense that you're like singing at a camera. Green
I'm trying to think
screen
like
mini
if we even
shares.
really need to like limit our frame to be like, oh, this story has to be one person the whole time. You know what I
Right.
mean? You could, like I said, like that. Like I think it'd be even funnier if it was just you singing to yourself a love song. You gotta
Yeah.
be the two different people.
I
But
think
you
so I think it works
Switching
both ways.
costumes.
you're
Like
singing.
yeah, you could either be like the one person or it could be like the two people singing back and forth to each other. But
mhm.
It's
um
one person singing, but at the very end, you see that the character was looking at a mirror and they were singing to themselves the whole time.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
you just have a mirror the whole time. Green screen a mirror in, just like, oh man, the symbolism.
I think
Truly
Could
I
Symbolism.
Twitch
love
have
myself.
multiple people from different computers on a stream
Mm,
in any
I
capacity?
guess, yeah. It would be
Oh,
the
so
computer.
imagine there's a song about like a couple who isn't on the same page. So they're singing songs at the same time, and
They're on a different page.
it's not
Yeah,
lining up.
they're
It
in a
can't
book.
line up
Yeah,
because of
they're on a
latency.
book.
So
true.
it's not lining up because they're not on the same page,
I
and it's
love
also
that.
not literally lining up in real life because it
I
can't.
love that. I love the idea of two people just
Um,
on a different tab on the same website and they just keep misreading the same section and they're just singing to each other and it's just not
Oh
lining up.
yeah. It's like text being blocked over by video feed or
Or like you said,
yeah,
like the
something like
latency's
that.
off, so you just keep missing the
Yeah, so
mark.
like messages like for one person reads as like out of order and it's like
And eventually
love
it leads
you don't love or
it
you
yeah,
know
it leads to misunderstandings and causes a small conflict just because of the
yeah
actual latency. I love that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's very
So
fun.
that's fun.
Fun and cute and quirky
Yeah.
and cool. And also, I do like thinking more about the framing of like it being within a Twitch stream. Like even then, like it wouldn't necessarily have to be the one person. I think that's it's strong in my brain because it can be only one person, but it can also be many people, right? Like I've known Pascal to have living room gamer streams. Like there can be many people
Yeah.
if that's actually something that can be facilitated. And I don't know. I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
cool.
and like you can like I imagine like the floating heads could like actually be like a like instead of like just like our icons, like actually like our icons be ourselves, like portraying them, you know what I mean? Like you just got like a little circle in your corner and like somebody's like talking and it's like here's the ensemble as like the little floating heads, right? Like
That
how
would be
we are
funny.
right now.
Like the
That could be a
iOS
cute
heads.
thing. Yeah, yeah, just like our little circle icons, and you see it all like lighting up and like in the little corner of the stream, or like how most of the time like they have like you could have the plug-in that lights up on the side.
Yeah, the
So
overlay.
I do kind of love the idea of very similar to how our pictures are here, right? Do you know how a lot of people when they do a cappella solo performances on YouTube, they'll like have each frame of them coming up like the video, whereas like the streamer windows like that Sid's looking at right now, like streams start and people perform individually in those frames, and like it changes constantly, that type of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
think yeah.
I like that a bit. The concern that I have is like I think about Pascal, you might remember our Berkeley graduation online.
Yeah, it was kind of
Mm.
Right?
Okay, no.
I don't want that's my fear is I don't want it to be
I do
this
remember
like
that. Yeah.
staring into the camera trying as hard as we
Uh-huh.
possibly can to perform like we're on a stage, but we're not on the stage. We're making eye contact with the
not.
viewers at home. Like I want to I want to
You don't want
try.
to pierce into people's souls?
I
Come
don't
on.
want that.
You
To
don't want
lean
eye
into the fact
contact
that
through the lens.
It would have to strike like this nice balance of like appearing natural. which
Right.
is
Leaning into the
very hard
fact
to
that it would
do.
be on a stream as opposed to forcing it that this is not on stream. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
If that's the route that you were going. Yeah, I
Come
track.
on, let's get parasocial with it. Let's.
No,
I'm
no.
in your house.
Parasocial.
I'm in your walls.
It's not parasocial. Chat's a character, we promise.
Yeah, no,
Promise.
we love
I'm in
chat.
love with chat. Chat's great.
They're the best. Chat's the
If
best
you-
character.
A random idea that I just had. If
Can I
you really
hold
did
Chat's
want to
hand?
Hell, chat. A random idea that I just thought of. If you really want to lean into that, and that depends on, of course, the writing style and how. If you want to do that Stanley Parable break fourth wall, however you want to look at it, kind of things. That if you want to put little quips here and there about common problems that might happen on a stream or something, such as I don't know, an ad or the Wi-Fi disconnected or something. That could little things like that could just channel it into the fact that yes, this is a stream. If that's what you wanted to do, just an option.
We
Raindrop,
could do a fake ad.
I'm thinking of
Yes.
that as a song.
as
I
an
love fake
entire
ads.
song.
Yeah,
Fake
I
ad.
feel like that
True,
could
you
just
could
be a
also do
song in
that.
and of itself. Just like
100%.
frustrations with overlay stream OBS. Oh my god, oh my yes, or that kind of shit. You
Entire
know what I mean?
performance?
Like
Oh
I
my
feel
God,
like
oh
that
my
could be
God,
an
hold an
easy like
ad.
song to do. like just like ads
Top
and
of
like
the
overlay
hour.
and oh my gosh, the moderators. Ugh, mod check please. Like that kind of like goofy little fun song. But
Subscribe.
I kind of want to
True.
personally.
no, but like yeah, I don't want to. I don't think we have to go that hard in it. I
Yeah.
just thought that'd be.
I want to ride
I don't
that
know,
line of it just being
feels like
like
my silly brain.
it makes sense that it's a stream, but we're not like, hello, Twitch.television. We are streaming today on Twitch.
Remember when this was just in TV? Me neither.
I don't want to be like that, like overzealous with it. I just want it to be like if someone comes into the stream when the performance is happening,
It'll still make sense.
Yeah, I want
and
them
not
to
just
be
like directly at them.
is this what stream is always like? Right?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, it is.
I want like some Jerma type performance vibes.
Yeah, we're gonna Jerma it.
As we've just been talking and spitting these ideas out, Sid, is there anything that you just as we've been brainstorming, is there any particular facet or idea or something that you've personally been through in these past couple of years that you would want to explore or anything?
Okay, we're gonna get
The
weird.
immediate
Wow.
face,
That.
the face. It's so funny. The
Yeah.
audio of the
Yep.
face like
Uh-huh.
synced up for
Like,
me.
oof, yep, that hit. Like, oh.
Where do we begin? Right? Like
Mhm.
you've seen the past 3 years for me.
Right, which because we go through a lot of things, of course, and it's been kind of a mess of just finding ourselves and figuring things out, and that can definitely be cathartic to
Yeah.
just tap into different things. So I just wondered if anything sparked in the time that we started talking.
Oh, geez. I wouldn't know where to start,
Hmm.
honestly. Artist development throughout, I think. That actually could add, like, another layer to it, I think. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh,
So I'm
100%.
gonna put
Right.
this on the board as, like, optional through
Yeah.
line of,
We'll
like,
call it dynastry.
of,
I'm
like,
kidding.
the idea of, like, developing, like, your artistry while completely isolated.
Hey,
Hmm
yeah.
The best
Because
artists
that
are tortured artists.
Mm.
Ooh, wait,
because
wait,
I
no,
feel
I
like
just thought,
it's
what
so
if like,
interesting. Mm.
yeah, I don't know if it'd be effective, but I just thought of like, with the isolation and an artist, like maybe there's like a song at one point where you don't get a choice and like you don't know what's going on, or some, I don't know if that could be portrayed well. You know what I mean? Like instead of like there be a song and like we build it up so that way people expect there to be a choice, but then there's like no choice, and then
Mm.
like maybe like the character gets scared because they don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
The,
Or something like that.
the
Like
the
kind of like
two
the
poll
same.
options are yes and yes.
Yeah,
Illusion of choice
or
type
like
beat.
or like it's just question mark. It's not even question marks. It's like a poll, like a place where a poll would happen, and like the character's like, What are my options? What do I do?" And it's just like they don't know what happens next. That kind of thing, where it's just like they're lost. Like the musical is truly lost at this point, and it shows by not having a choice for the audience at that interjunction or something. I don't know. That's just, I'm not sure if it portrays well, but I just think it's like, ooh, no choice, no real choice, because you're lost now.
Yeah, I like the idea of, like, the poll comes up and it's like, what should they do? And then the two options are question mark, question mark, question mark, and question mark, question
Yeah.
mark, question mark. Oh.
Yeah, they get freaked out by like not knowing choice. Yeah.
And then it's intermission.
Oh, that'd be, oh yeah,
Intermission.
that would make sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. There we go. Thinking like a real musical.
But everyone gets up and goes and gets their snacks.
Like we want this to kind of be in the frame of somebody wanting to pursue a Twitch stream, or just like that they're telling their life story through a Twitch
don't-
stream.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
trying
it
to get their
necessarily has
perspective.
to be about Twitch. It can,
Mhm.
I think, it can be about
Yeah, like maybe
anything.
it's not Twitch, but like maybe they're like recording their own story or something. Because yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get the through line.
Yeah, I think
For
it should
the
just
framing
be
device.
like casual, you know, like it should, like, it just makes sense that they're streaming. Like, this is just something that they regularly do. You know, it doesn't
Like a
necessarily,
story time or something.
yeah, it doesn't
Like maybe that's the
necessarily have to
musical.
be clear that this is like a hobby or a career or whatever, but they're just like
Mhm.
hanging out with their friends on Twitch, like peak
Yeah.
2020
The
Twitch.
show could be called Just Chatting.
Yeah.
Ah,
You're right.
that's pretty good.
Now
It
that
could be. It could
now
be.
that's some integration.
Okay, I have just an idea, and I know that different people's processes are different as far as which one came first, the chicken or the egg,
Mhm.
the music or the story kind of thing. But do you have any when you had this thought to make a musical, did you have any particular music genres that you wanted to cover in particular? Did you want it to be one overarching thing, mixing thing? Did you have any initial thoughts about that?
No. When I'm writing music, it's terrible. It always just like sort of
What?
is how it comes out. Like
Nice.
it's one of those things. I will say I know what I tend to gravitate to, and that's sort of like those like genre ambiguous like pop slash orchestral kind of musicals. Like I like
Mhm.
Hadestown, Sondheim, fucking what is his name? Last 5 years, man. His music, like these are all I think my biggest inspirations when it comes to musical
Yeah.
theater at the moment. Although less the jazz in Hadestown, just because I don't have a tendency to write jazz because it's not my wheelhouse.
Crazy. No,
Um,
I would have called you the jazz aficionado,
yeah,
but
we all know
hey,
Sid and their love of jazz.
Jazzatry.
I,
Mhm.
I thought you were a big jazz head. I was.
Yeah, I thought Sid
well,
was the
no,
Miles
hey, you know
Davis of
what?
Twitch.
You don't know that
They
standard?
Sid wants to branch out. I think it's fair. We step away from jazz. We go into pop orchestral
I mean,
chorus and that kind of
just
stuff.
this
So
once, I guess.
just this once.
Mm.
Don't worry. Just this once, guys. Don't worry.
Mm.
We're not gonna get that. You know, it's a musical. We're stretching
not-
our legs. We can't be.
Right, we're
We
not gonna
can't
get
be too
wonky on it.
restricted.
We can't get too
We
far
got a
away
lot
from
of
jazz.
music. We can't be. Can't be too
Yeah.
restricted.
It's just one of those things where it's like I don't have anything specific that I'm like hardline wanting to do. I just know what I like to hear, and I am like always open to like wherever the music goes. I try to let that sort of lead the way, like the
Fair.
story and the vibes.
Okay, sick. Because I know I've heard your music before, of course, but I didn't know how you wanted to go through with this musical and the processes with that, because I definitely know that the story, the lyrics, and everything can either coincide or maybe spark something. Because if you had, okay, I want this song to be about how I really just can't connect with you over whatever, and because of that fact I feel that this song should be, I don't know, housey for some reason.
Yeah.
So
We're going to
I
the
just didn't
rave,
know.
baby.
Right. It's a
Agree.
rave because of all the lights from my PC screen.
Oh man, crazy.
I'd have to have my eyes closed for the whole thing and like covering.
RGB love.
Oh man, the RGB fiends, baby.
Sick. Okay.
Going back,
I used to read Word Up magazine. Nah.
going back to kind of like taking inspiration from like pandemic vibes, like that sort of thing. Like, I don't know about y'all, but for me, there was a long stretch of time where like time just like wasn't real. Like it just did not matter, and
The
it still kind
concept
of
of time.
doesn't. That's still kind of the case, but it
Mhm.
was like really like hard. Like I don't know
Mhm.
what time of day it is, like in the middle of all this, and I think that would be like sort of a super interesting thing to play with and explore, of like just like being time agnostic, and like all of these problems are like hovering and looming and nothing's being done about them, and they're starting to pile up, and you just don't know how long it's been going on. It just feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, maybe
Mm.
like in a song you could see like yeah, I think kind of the same thing with like the latency for like any confusion. Maybe there's like things that repeat, I guess, like certain lines
Mm.
like, "Oh, can you fix this thing?" And then like, "Okay, and we do that. Da 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 da. Oh, hey, can you fix that thing?" And like maybe it's just a verse that keeps repeating. Maybe that could be a way to show it. Like just like, you know, like
Yeah.
however the musical structure we
It could
go.
be one of
Well, I
those
mean it'll
things
change,
where it
but
just like comes out through like asides and like offhanded comments into songs, and then they start
Mm,
piling up more and more and more.
So, like when you said like that it's framed as a Twitch stream,
Mhm.
you mean like it's like actually on a stream, or is it like it's gonna look like it's on a stream, but it's gonna be like a recorded thing, or what?
It's gonna be live on Twitch, yeah, regardless of whether that's the framing. The idea of framing it as a Twitch stream is that like I want it to be to where like if someone comes in and is watching the stream, they'll just be like, "Is this what stream is always like? Like, what? Why are these people singing? Like, like just like absurd, like just pretending that it's normal that I'm like breaking out into song."
Well, you know what? Not you made me think about the category. Are we just gonna be streaming under music or something, or like
I
I don't know, just out of the logistics of that,
I
or
don't know
just be like,
either.
we just have a create a. Hey, Twitch, can you create a musical category? just for
Is-
us.
The stage manager mod can change the category.
As the musicals go.
As
No,
it
that's
goes.
actually so sick. No, wait.
Yeah.
We could go through the categories. Do you know how many viewers we get?
Nice.
Yeah, just singing. We go from just chatting to just singing.
Yep, when they're talking, it's chatting. When they're singing about X, this category.
Oh, that is funny, but okay.
Instead of
You know, I
lighting,
don't know
that's what
what-
they have in their little notes. They have.
They're just like, okay, at this beat we gotta change
Gotta-
category.
Gotta switch
At
category
this
again.
beat we gotta put up the poll for this amount of time.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? You know what? For the stage manager, what? Now I'm just thinking of the logistics of we get a tie, right? Is there like, would that just go to stage manager's choice? Or,
Yes.
like,
Ooh, yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Mm.
And suddenly the
Alright.
stage manager becomes a dictator, and
What?
all the fun.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like thinking about this. I really like it because it can be done multiple times because there's multiple paths that can be taken. I feel like it has like replayability. So like we
Yeah.
have an off performance night, we just do it again the next.
That is actually kind of funny now that I think
Nothing
about
but
oh,
wins.
man.
Nothing but wins.
Mhm.
Oh god, this is man, this now I'm just thinking it's just getting tougher and tougher. I'm just thinking about it and like what usually like I would remember like, oh, here's my like 20 lines. Now it's like I gotta remember these like different variations of like where my character should be according to like this deviated path or like this thing and like that part.
You know what would
Um,
be good to rewatch in this process of writing it?
Shrek.
Now,
The rehearsal.
kidding.
oh,
The
I was
nature
gonna
I-
say Hamilton.
Door City over here.
I think it's good. I think.
Yeah.
These are all good ideas.
Mhm.
Not me
Yes.
googling what the rehearsal is.
You haven't seen. Okay.
I haven't
I
seen
haven't
it either.
seen it either.
I haven't seen it either. I didn't want to be the only person out. I
No,
feel
Damn.
so
no, Mega,
ashamed.
you not.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
think
all
I'd
of
get DMCA'd if I streamed?
Maybe.
I am certain
Probably.
that you would.
I
I'm
can't
certain
even
I mean, we
someone
could
would.
obscure it, but that might be.
I mean,
that
what
might
if
be
we
tough.
sing over it? Then it's creative, right? Then
If you
it's
split
not.
the audio, you're fine.
It's transformative, so
Yeah,
it's
transformative. It's critical analysis.
We're
That's
all-
what
Yeah.
There's like 8 of us in the Discord. We're critically analyzing the show.
yeah, it's transformative media at that point.
It's a reaction video.
Yeah. No, here's the idea for this. If you guys are down, if you guys have time at any point, we could set up like reaction times where like we do our homework and we watch things, right? We're watching things, and then because it can't live on Twitch or YouTube, it could be Patreon. It could be the Patreon reward since I haven't been doing that
Ooh.
shit consistently.
I like
that'd
that.
be fun.
Yeah.
Dog, my money ran out on that Patreon.
I
I feel
posted
bad.
in the chat
I was
this.
broke. Anyway.
I watched it last year, but it's really, really good. It's half an hour. Everyone in it is improv musical, including like the musicians backstage. They're all doing everything on the spot based on different prompts that are given to them in the moment.
Hell
And
yeah.
they actually
Sick.
perform a really
Love that.
good story, and like the singing is really good.
I just looked up like character names because like I was thinking like, oh, if we're gonna do this whole choice thing, like obviously the first obvious, I feel like it's a little grown worthy if we went with Destiny as like the main character name in a show about choice. But like I looked it up and there's a name Myra, which says is an English version of the Irish name Mir, which means destiny. So if we want to be more subtle, we could call her Moira or something. But
That's fun and
I
pog,
don't know.
and I like that name.
Yeah.
And most people
Well,
don't
it's
know
spelled
it.
Moira. With
Aha.
spelling. But
Got
anyway. But yeah, I don't know. These are obviously way more I don't know, silly little things, but
Mhm.
I guess we seem to be on this choice matters destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Can we be in charge, or is God gonna fuck me over today? You decide.
All right.
Chat is God,
You
by the way.
choose.
Obviously. Do we want like we only really want the choices to be for the main character, right? There's no I feel like I don't want to get too like I said lost in the sauce of like okay, this choice goes into this person's choice and then goes into that person's choice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's got to be like just from the main character's perspective, right?
Even then,
Like
like if it does wind up being that there could be more people like there physically, um, like you could
yeah.
do just like group number choices. Like we're doing a cooking stream, and Chad is
Mhm.
dictating that, and
Yeah.
it's sort of everyone,
Oh
but
my
it's not
god.
necessarily like a billion little decisions. It's just like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god, if you're stuck in a third wheel call with like a couple I actually, you
That'd
know
be a
what? Oh,
fun
god,
skit.
that reminded me in high school. I got stuck working like a kind of like uh I don't want to call it a parent teacher conference, but it was essentially like one of those. And we were advertising the theater club. And like, my God, the other two people, they were a couple, and holy shit, they got into an argument. And it was so fucking uncomfortable. I'm just sitting there as they're like walking the hallways, being like, what the fuck are you doing? What the like swear at each other. And I'm just sitting there like, don't get involved with this, Mike. It's not your battle to choose.
Are you sure they weren't just performing?
I they one was dramatic and the other was laid back, so maybe they were performing, but nah, I felt bad for him. Well, kind of. I don't know. I have some beef with one of them, but
That did give.
so it didn't
Oh,
surprise me the whole arguments and causing drama shit.
I do think it would be funny, not necessarily that exact idea, although it could be, of like being in like a Discord call, like on the stream, and like also being like shady and like muting to talk shit, and like that's sort of the monologuing aspect, and then you can use the
The
Discord
villain
sounds
character.
Wait,
like
That'd be
no, no,
as
no, no,
so
no.
much
You
percussion.
like
fun.
you keep getting moved to different rooms, and it'd be like, hey, OP, Moira, can you come with me over here? Bloop. I never think that this bitch, she doesn't drink soup. I don't know. Not trying to make it rhyme, but like, like something like again, like they literally pull you into different rooms, or like you
Hmm.
said, they
Different
mute to say one
channels.
thing to another, and then like you hop like again, you go into a different Discord, or like you go into a whatever, and it's just like back and forth and back and forth, and you're like, God, what are you? Why the fuck are you two together? Or nothing like that, but like
It,
like just another part of this whole drama of how they can't really be together because like they're not like I said, these two people aren't really as mature, and
Right.
eventually they gotta self-actualize and all that stuff.
Okay, what, Ray?
um, as the owner of the server, and also because you gave people like mod permissions, you actually do have the ability to do this, which might be fun during chat.
Huh? Why? Why? Why?
I just put a lot of
Why?
trouble.
They
Why?
literally can't hear us laughing.
Why?
Oh my
Why?
god. Bruh.
That's also
Isn't
fun.
that
Discord
great?
The
shenanigans.
the
Do it
flex
one
that
more
Ray
time.
did,
I dare you.
absolute
I dare
legend
you, bitch. I'll
material.
take your power
Really?
away.
Legend
That's
material.
hot.
It makes for like
Dog.
great. You can make like for great like storytelling with that.
Yes, great storytelling.
Kicked.
Home. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Mod power, right?
That was
Now,
like
that made
building
me
off
think.
of what Kem said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Very
I'm not
relevant.
gonna lie. This I don't want to make it a blast, but you made me think about like uh mod relations and power in the community. You made me just think about that, and it's like maybe like there's a song where it's like, yeah, somebody. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that it just happened here, but it's like somebody who like differentiates themselves because I'm a mod. I have the power. I'm a leader in this community.
I'm
You
a
you
mod.
can't don't talk back to me. You know maybe not
A
like that,
villain
but like,
monologue, but as a mod.
the villain moderator, the
The
villain
villain
moderator.
monologue.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a monologue.
monologue.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good.
That was
Good
my
stuff.
joke.
I
Thank you.
think
Nah,
there's a couple like limitations in how like doing that but not being cringe.
yeah.
But
Oh,
But yeah, I
we're
mean,
not. We're
I
trying
think
not to
at
be
this
cringe.
point,
but you
I
could,
I think that does tote the
there's
line of fourth wall breaking. But
there's a couple previous situations we could allude to in this for sure.
yeah,
Oh
oh
whoa.
man,
Oh, go
I
on.
love Instaham.
Meg, you were there.
I
You
don't
were in the
recall
trenches
anything.
with us. God.
It's been a while.
I don't
I have
recall
another
anything.
question.
You
The
can
thingy
also,
girl.
if you're doing this in Discord, you could also make good use of Discord's new like built-in soundboard, which is how I went.
Yeah.
And
Trust me.
and
My
Ooh.
raid
DJ
team's been
Dex.
using it a lot.
But
A lot.
Jail right away.
but
but-
Sid, because
but-
this is
but-
your server, you could add your own like original
Mhm.
sounds to it.
And there you go. There's the orchestra.
Yes.
The orchestra is just Discord sounds. It's like your ass going to jail.
I have a
Wee
question.
woo, wee woo.
What is it,
It's
Angel?
like,
What is like I'm thinking about nerd shit. Uh because I don't know what if there would be any issues when we're talking about like intellectual property
Right.
regarding using Discord.
I was wondering that also as well. Which is where I think, I don't know, I'd have to research it, and it could be that it would just literally be fine, particularly because it's like, who the fuck am I? But
yeah.
secondarily, I feel like there are workarounds where, we have in the score, instead of Discord sounds specifically, we're using other sound effects that are sort of similar and convey the same idea of like, oh, we're just like in a voice chat.
Mhm.
So it's the same concept and the same actions, but we're not necessarily using someone else's sound effects. But I do
Yeah.
see, there's Discord sounds used in YouTube videos constantly. So I don't see it being a problem on that front. I think the place where it would potentially become a real problem is if we maybe tried to, upload something to Spotify, like actually distribute it as an album. That's where I'd really have to do some more
Yeah.
digging on what is.
And I
worth it.
imagine we probably shouldn't name Discord like if we do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we don't even have the name. It's like, oh, let's get on blah 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 or something.
Yeah.
We'll just already be on call. It's like, oh, get
Mhm.
on call. Just say that instead. But you know.
Right.
Or you call it dumb Discord.
Oh yeah, like dumb
Dumb cord.
Starbucks.
Dumb cord.
Dumb cord. Yep.
But also like we're talking about like
Dis talk.
certain features and functionality that are specific to Discord. So
Right. I don't think
Yeah.
we're
I
gonna
get that.
I don't think we're gonna talk about it. I think we're just gonna use it. Right? So like if a sound effect has to happen, like for the music to work, like one way to have that happen in real time would be to use the soundboard. But we
Yeah,
don't
just
have to
put it
like
on a soundboard.
acknowledge that it's happening. It's just a sound that's
Mhm.
occurring and we're reacting to it. It's not necessarily we're going to use Discord's built-in soundboard.
Correct. And most sounds in Discord are probably something else that's not proprietary to Discord in itself anyway.
Yeah, correct. So we'd mostly be. What? Why can I got
Uh-oh.
I got a weird notification. It's fine. We move on.
Okay.
I got a
Just see you
TikTok
waving your
notification
hands
that's like
up. Oh my
someone looked at your video, and I'm like, who even is
Dog.
this? Anyway.
TikTok
That's
is
another
wilding like that.
That's stupid.
Mhm.
Now you just made me think like no, a stream would never show a notification. It's streamer mode, but that'd be stupid. I'm just thinking of every stupid fourth wall break now. I'm like, just like, oh my god, it's like, what is happening on Twitter? Fuck. No, I'm kidding. But like you said, we wouldn't say Twitter. We call it the blue site. But
We could build a website.
We could build our website.
Well,
for like
we have
Imagine
the
one of the
musical on
choices just links to like
citistry.com.
citistry.com or something.
That is the
It's-
sponsor. Yeah, I
I
love that.
I do in
yeah.
fact
This
have
is
that
sponsored
website.
by me.
It's sponsored
Fucking
by
buy my
myself.
album.
Yeah,
Um
we need to put it to more use.
yeah, we could literally like have a website so like I'm like reacting to things and like there's posts
Mhm.
online and notifications that happen, but like it's not real.
Yeah. Yeah, just like edit in like, oh my god, look at this website. Holy shit, what did they say about me? The fuck?
That would take a lot more work and require a lot more
No, I would.
logistics.
Yeah,
But
no. Yeah. Again.
I'm willing to do it,
Funny.
especially if it means we're extending this timeline so that, you know, the final performance happens when I'm in New York.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I don't know. We all we did is just make a. Well, right now we're just making a hypothetical. Once we get to writing, I imagine that's gonna take a lot more time to feel
Mhm.
confident about like creating scenes and being like, scene one, we open with bloop bloop bloop. Oh my god. Hi chat, how's it going? You know, I don't know, something like that. I don't even. How do you block for something like this? Now that I'm thinking about it, how am I gonna? That feels weird. Like, I mean, obviously, it's not
Um,
like a whole lot of blocking, but I'm like,
right.
okay, this
Mhm.
pops up here in that corner and that stuff.
I feel it's
You
less
know?
blocking and more storyboarding for
Yeah,
Yeah.
this.
there we go. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
Ooh,
definitely interesting.
I am not an artist. I can write blocking. I can't draw it, but yeah. That
I
makes
just thought
sense.
of something.
Idea. What's up?
As a joke, like for like any like difficult scene change, like let's say I'm doing like a stream in here and then we have like a cooking stream. We could do like the amaranth like changing into cute outfit smile like on the screen while
Maybe maybe
I
that's a
love when people do that and they're cheeky about how they show that. I am a sucker for that, so
Yeah.
I like that.
I almost thought maybe there should be like a song about "Be Right Back" and like that's like also like a pre-recorded thing where you just like
Mhm.
you just play this like one song, maybe not like loop it, but it'd be like, oh hey, you know, it's like we're gonna be right back. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
like
that
unrelated, but
and the ad would serve as a useful scene change as
yeah,
well, because I imagine
Mhm.
that would have to be pre-recorded too.
yeah.
Um,
Wouldn't everything have to be pre-recorded?
no,
You know what? Maybe we should just pre-record this whole lives. I'm
um,
kidding.
so me and or whoever else happens to be physically present would be doing that live. The instrumental would have to be pre-recorded unless we can get like an instrument or two in the room. It's me on my
Yeah.
clarinet playing and singing at the same time. Um,
Make this a guitar only musical. That's
but there would definitely be like a track. I'd probably want to have some sort of headphone mix. Um, Figuring that out would be interesting. I'm sure I could do it with my handy dandy Focusrite.
Mhm.
And then I don't know. What's interesting to me thinking about it is like coordinating between like whoever's doing like stage manager mod as we've called it. Like would the latency
Yeah.
between me and
Oh
stream
yeah,
be too much
stage
or
manager's on a delay. Yeah,
yeah.
that
So it's like
that is.
which one do they do? Are they in a like a call with me where they can hear what's happening in real time more so, like it's less delay than stream? Or do they want to work with the stream delay where they'll sort of be reacting around the same time that chat sees things and
Mhm.
I
I mean,
feel you could do either one. I feel it would just depend on how you wanted the interim between things to go, because if the stage mod is in the call with you, then of course it's going to be real time. If you want it to be so the stage mod is not in a call and just on the same time as stream, then you would just have to be able to fill in the delay time with something else. So, casually, just if you're on stage and you just do busy work or whatever as things are going on, that's fine. I just feel that either one could work,
Hmm.
just how you go through with that.
Yeah. I feel like that could be a tech stream of like figuring out which one is most effective.
Mm-hmm.
And like working out sort of the logistical kinks of that.
Speaking of tech stuff, would we be looking to have like some sort of equal like level, like having everyone, like the parts that are remote, like having stuff sound equally good, or would we like accept
That's
the difference in spaces and
Yeah, I guess try to
equipment?
match like audio wise, like what
Yeah.
everybody has for their
That's
Well, that's
surroundings and stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah. I
I
think
think
that
it'd
would
be
come
tough
down
to
to the
do.
decision of whether like how many performers we're actually gonna have,
mhm.
because we're still on the well, at least I thought we were on the idea that we might only have one or two performers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I think realistically, anything done remotely, aside from whatever song has the latency, aside from that bit, which would be very intentional, the difference in sound and time, um, everything else would have to be pre-recorded just to keep everything synced up. Um, and so that would just sort of be mixed and made cohesive remotely, just like any other remote recording we've done beforehand. We got the
it's like a
premise, we got the
vague sketch.
themes, we got the general blob. I gotta
Yeah,
carve it out.
yeah. I think we carve it into a plot, and then we can
Mm-hmm.
carve it into like scenes,
Mhm.
and then songs and
then a pumpkin.
A
and a
pumpkin,
pumpkin. Yeah,
a
you know
little
what?
jack o'
Yeah.
lantern.
Honestly, we have some part in Halloween pumpkin carving stream. That kind of
Mhm.
sounds cute.
Leitmotifs that uh kind of like point you towards what the choices mean, but like obviously not very explicitly because they're leitmotifs.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, I know that's super good.
we do like
Communicating with chat subconsciously.
Ooh.
Right, but we don't want to necessarily guide them toward one choice or the other, so that things could potentially be
Progress.
different
I
each
just
time.
I think it would be like more so like indicating like what sort of impact this will have down the road. So like let's say there's a leitmotif that's sort of associated with that like idea of like them developing their artistry, and it's like some seemingly like irrelevant choice like of like what are we eating for lunch today, and then but you hear that choice play, and so subconsciously you're sort of associating it with like this is going to
Mhm.
interact in some way with like where they're going
Yeah,
artistically.
they make what they choose to eat is like maybe a line and what they, like I said, if you're making a song,
Like a butterfly
maybe
effect
like
thing, yeah.
Right, the
you call it
butterfly effect.
broccoli or you call it, I don't know,
Mm.
something like that.
Hmm.
And like, you know, the green stalk and like, you know, as the time as I watch the clock, time passes on, or I don't know, you know what I mean? It'd just be like, hey, it's a line in the song they make,
Hmm.
or
Yeah, I'm imagining like this
whatnot.
contrapuntal thing where, like, in one voice you have this sus chord, which sort of represents a choice because it's some kind of lack of resolution, but in the other line you have that motif of what that might impact in the future.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
I like that.
And that would also
Yeah.
be a good audio cue of like, oh, hey, I need to look at the chat and like answer the poll.
Right, right.
But like maybe there's like a point in the musical where like we literally ask for chat. I don't know, like
Mm.
chat to write a line. Like there's a point where it's like, hey, we're gonna say this thing, and then we expect them it goes blank, we ask chat to write our line or something, and then we got to say, like, again, maybe within reason, or like maybe we
Yeah.
give them a choice of lines
Or
to
maybe
choose
it could
from.
be like they say the lines that's gonna happen way far into the future.
And it could be like Pascal said with the escape room, and also I'm thinking of that one music streamer Ari at Home, how he like always like is improvising shit on stream, and it's just like reading the words that chat says and like folds them in to the freestyle. I feel like that is like a good
Mhm.
exercise and
A
plan.
fun thing to do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. You could take that line and sing it over like a recitative or something, because in recitative you can put anything of lyrical metric.
Yeah, I'm happy with what we have so far.
I think some
Yeah.
great headway was made.
Oh yeah, very
Yeah.
much so. Thank you guys so much. This is like actually truly incredible. I think the game plan is come back tomorrow, everyone who can and wants to, and we can start like actually fleshing out like a story arc and characters and figuring out where those songs and those choices lie. I think that's Pog. And that's it for
Thank you.
stream. Thank you, chat. We will see you all tomorrow at the same time, the same place. Thank you, love you. Bye.
Bye, chat.
Bye.